Humans built the systems and societies that you exist in, and the thing is, they're not necessarily any smarter than you. I'm not here to tell you what to think, but I am here to show you the range of possibilities of the human experience, basically the expansion of consciousness. I wouldn't recommend basing your identity around any one idea, because then the idea becomes more difficult to question. Additionally, I want you to know that proof by intimidation is never going to be accepted here, and I highly recommend you make the same kind of stance in your own life. And here's why. The foundation is absolutely baseless. By searching for truth, you gain the ability to manifest more of what you desire, because when you have more information, your focal point just becomes a little bit more clear. That makes it highly magnetic. So, next time someone tells you that you shouldn't be asking questions, or that you feel intimidated by someone and you're not exactly sure why, know that you have the fundamental human right to question everything.
One of my favorite quotes is by Oscar Wilde. He says that an idea that is not dangerous is unworthy of being called an idea at all. How perfect. Ideas should invigorate your soul. They should excite, propel you. But there's a critical distinction, in my view, a fine line between ideas and identity. Bringing an idea to life is not the same as building your entire life around one idea, and the danger is that worldview creates self-imposed restriction. As Carl Jung says, it's not that people have ideas, it's that ideas have people. And that's a problem. It inhibits our greatest power, the ability to think. It means we're walking through life blind. Oscar Wilde says to define is to limit. Kierkegaard says, once you label me, you negate me. When what you believe becomes your identity, you have no choice but to perpetually believe it, to always defend it. It is as much you as your reflection. And when answers have to support your beliefs, well, then their accuracy becomes irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You'll find a way to make it fit. You'll put that square peg in the round hole one way or another, because the end has triumphed over the truth. I like to look at ideas this way. A world of trains, all next to each other, close proximity, going thousands of different directions, different ways, carrying different cargo, going different speeds. And you can hop on and off these trains as you see fit. If you no longer like the speed or the direction, then you change trains. You don't like the destination it dropped you off at, maybe it wasn't all you imagined it to be. Get on another train, go some other place. That's the freedom of life, that's the exploration. The scenario to be avoided is clapping, cheering, holding a banner, proclaiming the train you're on, engine number 9, is the right train, the virtuous train, the only train that should be taken, as it makes its way off a cliff. But you never took the time to look out the window. And to be clear, I'm not advocating that the goal is to have no principles, to remain forever neutral, or be this perpetual Switzerland. No, the exact opposite. Have ideas, have beliefs, stand for things that you care about. But care about them because they mean something to you. Because in your heart and soul they align, because you know the alternative viewpoints, you understand and appreciate the opposing ideas, but they're just not you. They may be, but they're not now. And you're okay with the train you're temporarily on, not because you put a blindfold on, sat down and called engine number 9 home, which is what human beings seem to perpetually be tempted to do. It's in our nature. So here is a reminder that a successful life is an aware life. It's understanding how prone human beings are to dismiss reason and abandon logic, how quickly life can become a team sport, because that feels so much better than being someone who says, wait, maybe we missed something. Perhaps there's a chink in the armor or a flaw in the logic. And what's interesting is one does not need to look hard to understand that history isn't defined by what happened. It's defined by how people interpreted and reacted to what happened, how they molded events into their personal narrative. Like a potter making dishes out of clay, we live not in a world of facts, but a world of perception or lack thereof. Human beings who blindfolded themselves and make every account fit that narrative. See, data can tell you any story you want it to tell. Events can be attributed to any cause. Our world is not black and white, it's very much gray. But we don't want to hear that as we attempt to make sense of what is. It's much easier to be for or against, over there or over here, yes or no. They say that if you follow the crowd, you will get lost in the crowd, and well, that's because the crowd eliminates the burden of having to think, to make difficult decisions. A crowd simplifies. A crowd is emotional, void of the thinking needed to change your life and the lives of others. The world should be explored, and one's quest to understand it should never be limited to the phrase, it is what it is. Nothing is what it is. The world is a collection of stories, ideas, or as I like to put it, almost 8 billion movie screens playing as we make our way through it. Life isn't a 3-course meal, it's a buffet where you choose, where you're aware of what serves you, where you put what matters to you in front of you. And when life becomes too straightforward, it's often because we missed a turn. When it becomes too easy to dismiss an opposing viewpoint, it's often because we don't understand it. When anything outside of a court or a field becomes a team sport, it's very likely that we stopped listening, that we left the train with logic and reason and are taking a nap on the one carrying emotion. There's so much power, there's so much beauty in simply being yourself. But permit yourself to understand who you are. Allow yourself to step outside of the box and access the gray area where life is better understood. Have your beliefs. Have the courage of your convictions. Seek out what truly matters in life. But don't ever let those ideas have you.